light in your life? Are you soaring in the joy around you? Are you stuck and unable to make life happen? Stay tuned for the Rabbi Jenny Show, where you will learn how to bask in the light and find more joy and meaning in life. Call to talk to Rabbi Jenny at 888-565-1470 and email questions and comments at rabbijenny.com. And now, if you're ready, stay tuned for the Rabbi who will light your world on fire, Rabbi Jenny.
Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Rabbi Jenny. I am so thrilled to be here with you today. It is one of my favorite subjects that we're going to talk about. But before we do, it is really important that as my listeners, as my sacred listeners, I want you to understand two things from now on when you listen to me. There's two things I want you to remember forever. And the first one is that the world is happening for you, not to you. You got that? The world is happening for you and not to you. And the second thing is that you are the light of the universe. It is actually in you, it grows in you, it shines through, there's a piece of it inside of you. So you got those two things, listeners? The world is happening for you and not to you, and you are the light of the universe. So today we're talking about angels. And I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite subjects, and I'm actually going to teach the topic of angels through the Jewish mystical perspective. And it's a tricky way to teach it for people because most people think angel and they think big feathers and a very handsome man with mine has brown curly hair and he's fabulous and I like him a lot. But anyways, that's my personal angel who's with me. But the real truth about angels in Jewish mysticism is angels are simply energy. And remember, I said you were the light of the world. That's how I started the show. So let's just say that you're a diamond. Because everybody's like a diamond. And the light of God refracts through you in different colors, like the rainbow we talked about last week. Well, the angels are like super-powered versions of each color. And when you call upon those energies, they supercharge you in different areas of your life. And it's fantastic. So first I'm going to kind of explain this from, a Hebrew perspective, which is really heavy. If you're not from the Judeo traditions, bear with me. And if you're interested, give me a call. I can teach you about it. But when we talk about Torah, we talk about it being a code at one level. And we use very specific language and letters when we identify certain objects. And the word that represents angel is malach. And the word that represents king is melech. And in those two words, there's one difference. And the one difference is the Hebrew letter Aleph. And if you're Jewish, you know that Aleph is the first letter of the alphabet. Okay? It's the beginning of formation. It's the beginning of life. It's actually the beginning of the word Adam for man. The beginning of the word Eretz for land. It's when things come into matter. So when they wrote this code to tell us what an angel was, what they were telling us is it's close to the king, but it's also a little bit closer to us. And you put them together and they can reach us. The energy of God can reach us. So that's where we're going from the Hebrew perspective. And then I'm going to talk about different angels and the Hebrew words. Now, most people have heard angel names, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and you might be sitting in your car saying, is she kidding me? I really wanted to hear something deep. Angels, frou-frou, feathers, really? Okay, so I want you to go back to my first 2 points. You are the light of the world, and the world is happening for you. Go back to that. So we're going to take these angels and we're going to break them down, people. We're going to break them each down. And I'm going to talk about stories in the Torah where we see angels and point to how you can call upon this divine energy to superpower you in the choices you do in your life. And I'm going to tell you stories, and I got this amazing guest who's this very, very sacred friend of mine to teach you a little bit about how to call upon this energy. So the main angels that I chose for the show today are the big ones, okay? They're the big machas, okay? Every night, and when we say our bedtime Shema in Judaism, we actually invoke these 4 archangels. There's 4 big ones. One is Michael, one is Raphael, one is Gabriel, and one is Uriel. Now, if you're a little Jewish kid like me, you did not know you were invoking the archangels in the 70s. I didn't even know this. I just read the Hebrew and did the Shema, and that was that. I didn't know. Angels were for those other people. They were for different, angels, that's too magical. Focus on the book. Okay? So what I want to point out is the Hebrew. Remember, we're going to Torah. So Michael, which is the name of Michael, is actually the name for who is the most like the divine. Hu, ha, el. Every angel ends with two letters, an aleph and a lamed. Both of those letters are in the word malach, but not in the word melech. So, go with me on that one. Michael is the most. So what I want to tell you about this energy, okay, guys? I want you to think about the energy of Archangel Michael, not like a guy with feathers, if that's too tough for you. If you were raised with a God without a face, it is very hard to put the face on the divine. Remember that. Don't challenge yourself. Listen. Because this energy is waiting to shine through you, you diamond. Okay, so this energy, the Michael energy, are you ever driving on I-95? Are you ever driving on I-95? Okay, and there's this guy speeding behind you, and there is no way you're going to get past that semi. There is no way, and you veer out of the way. You just veer out of the way. That's the energy of Michael. It's fast, it's forceful, it's powerful, it's the energy that when you have nothing left inside of you, no plan whatsoever, it comes in and whoosh. That's the nature of this energy. Okay? The color is up to you. Okay? But this how that energy shines through you. Remember, you're in partnership and cooperation. You're a piece of this, guys. Okay, the second one is Gabriel. Favorite of mine. Hebrew word. Gevura El. Remember the L at the end. Gevura, strength. And El. Okay, this is not the strength like you think. This is like the energy of Gabriel when it shines through you. It's that inspiration. It's that idea that you couldn't quite put on your tongue. When you just need somebody's name and you can't think of it? It's that energy. It's fine-tuned. Gabriel is the energy of artists and writers and when you're trying to create a business, So you're going to call upon that divine energy to supercharge your own strength. Remember, you have Gevura in you. You have strength in you. You are divine light source energy. And so when that energy shines through you, it allows you to go boom and do whatever you need to do. Third one, Raphael, very handsome, if you choose to look at him that way, or her, because it's been known to be a girl. There's very mixed views on gender with angels. Another show. Maybe my guest and I will get into that, but it's not for this part. Refuah, El. Remember, Refuah is the healing energy of God. And El is, like God, in the word malach. It's a code, people. All right, so Refuah El, let me tell you about this beautiful energy. Refuah El is it's like a cup of chamomile tea, It's like herbs. It's like healing. It's soft. It's sweet. It comes into your heart. And it's when you need to have compassion for someone that you can't. I was talking to someone before the show who was talking to me about a resentment that he had. And I said, pray for them. Well, that's the most ridiculous thing to tell somebody to do sometimes. But you would call upon the Refuah El in you. You would ask it to supercharge that in me. Supercharge the Refuah in me. The healing nature of me. So I can do that to heal my heart. Fourth one is Uriel. Uriel is the light of God. Okay, this one's tricky. Because you know how you want to see the long-term picture in your life, but you only usually see 10 feet in front of you? That's Uriel. Okay, Uriel shines the light on what you need to see and do next. Not long-term, sorry people. That's for the visionaries, All right, then we have Raziel, Chanael, Tzadkiel, and Yophiel. Okay, these all represent the secrets of God, the grace of God, Chanael, which I'm going to talk about her, Tzadkiel, which is your compassion, and Yophiel, which is beauty, the ability to see beauty. Now, I want to talk about these angels in terms of Torah because there are some stories. Can you believe it? There are angels in the Torah. Nobody told me this when I was a child in the 70s, okay? I'm really, my grandmother was a Hebrew school teacher. If I could talk to her now, I'd be like, what were you thinking? Okay, so the first angel appears, interestingly enough, when Hagar flees Sarah's house. Okay, this is the first soap opera in the Torah, if some of you know it. It's fabulous. Okay, Sarah can't have a baby. She gets Hagar to sleep with Abraham to have the baby, and she realizes what she did. Holy moly! And she kicks Hagar out to the desert. Well, Hagar, again, is an aspect of us. It's the part of us that succumbs to the plans of others. But when Hagar leaves, an angel appears. Now, in my mind, how life reacts through me, how the energy, angelic, divine source energy supercharges me. It supercharged Hagar. I would like to think it was grace, a Chanael. I would like to think it was a little teeny piece of Raphael that shined through her so she could keep going. It gave her the strength. And you'll notice in Torah that the angels always accentuate our senses. They always point us to listen for something, to look to something, or to feel something. Okay, they don't really talk about tasting anything, but I don't know what they would taste. Okay, you really want to taste matzah. Total other show. So that's the first story I want to point out. The other one is Abraham binding Isaac. Another strange story for those who read it, from a very literal perspective. Okay, we know he's bringing up his son to kill him, and he says he's doing it because God told him so. But what's the best thing about this story is he gets up there and he puts his son there, and an angel distracts him. Now, for me, this is an Oriel energy. This is the light. I got to tell you, I was driving to work this morning, and I looked to my left, and I saw this beautiful vulture. And after I looked to my left, I thought, why did I look to my left? Why did I know to look to my left? Jenny, that's the angels. That is the energy. This is this source energy that's constantly navigating you. It is constant if you become aware of it, if you become conscious of it, which is what we're trying to do for you today. Third story, Jacob. Jacob wrestles an angel. He wrestles an angel at a moment that he needs to face his own past. And in facing his own past, he inherits everything. He's the father of the 12 tribes. He's the guy. He becomes Yisrael. Okay? So I like to think of this energy as being an energy of Raziel, which is the energy of secrets. This is Tzadkiel. If you're a tzaddik, you understand. It's the energy of compassion for self. But it's also Uriel. He's being seen. He's showing himself. These are difficult things for us to do. And this divine energy, it comes in. It comes in through you like the diamond you are and shines through you anytime you ask. So a lot of the show today is to encourage you to reach out and ask for the energy that is deep within you. You were designed to do that. You were born into an energetic world. And this energy, which we call by the name of energy or angel or malach, whatever word that we are using, in each culture we have names for this energy, it can shine through you and strengthen your life. So I think I have a couple more seconds here, and I wanted to talk about different ideas about seeing, hearing, and speaking. And the first story I'm going to tell you is it's a really silly one from right before I got here. I was at Starbucks, which they don't have an ad on my show, but I really like Starbucks, green tea, big deal in my life. So I go to Starbucks, and I'm in Starbucks, and Nat King Cole is on the radio, and he's singing, L is for the way you look at me. And I don't know what happened to me. I look at this guy sitting at the table, and I'm listening to this music, which is so much more musical, let's just put it that way, than any other music out now. And I literally started dancing around Starbucks. Now, these people see me every day at 4 o'clock, so they're like, whatever, it's Jenny. But I'm like so moved by this music. And all I know is I had a very stressful day. And all I know is that the angels opened my ears. All I know is that energy came into me and supercharged my ability to listen. It supercharged my ability to listen and hear and recognize the nature of the divine in my life, and to dance and to be free and to feel joy. And I myself have to call upon that. There are people who don't choose to do that. You're listening to Rabbi Jenny now, people. Remember my 2 facts before we go to break. You are divine light source energy. That's it. You're it. You're plugged in whether you want to be or not, baby.
Someone who is currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is...
So the world is happening for you and not to you.
it's Rabbi Jenny asking you, are you ready? Life can bring many challenges, and sometimes we need help finding the answers to increase our awareness and take it to the next level. So are you ready? Come join me every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WWNN 1470 AM, where you can hear and see me bring spirit, light, and love into your life. Are you ready? It's time to change your life, take it to the next level, and embrace the greatness that is you. Are you ready? The time is now. Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. on WWNN 1470. So let's get ready. Do you know someone who is currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is over. Dream Recovery International has the answer. With a combination of highly skilled clinicians, innovative treatment modalities, and luxurious amenities, Dream Recovery International has it all. Focusing on core issues, spiritual growth, and personal empowerment, clients of Dream Recovery International leave addiction behind and move forward to fully embrace life. For more information, go to dreamrecoveryintl.com or call 855-DREAM-80. Dream Recovery International, where addiction ends and recovery begins. Spent hours in therapy, at the spa, and the gym, and still feel as if something is missing? At Walk Between the Worlds with shamanic practitioner Jennifer Sellers, you recapture lost pieces of yourself, place them within your heart, and move forward to fully actualize life. With individual sessions and group classes, with Walk Between the Worlds, you heal your mind, unite your soul, and empower your spirit. Contact walkbetweentheworlds.com today. Mention this ad on the Rabbi Jenny Show and receive 10% off your first session. Walk free and whole and true at walkbetweentheworlds.com.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back. We're talking about angels today, and I was just thinking this morning that I was driving to work, and I noticed two things. I noticed this beautiful yellow blooming tree. It blooms this time of year in South Florida. It's like bright yellow. And I also noticed the sunrise. I don't know why I got to see this sunrise, and the sun was like, almost looked like a sunset. It was full, and anytime I look at something, anytime I notice something, I always say thank you. Not simply for what I'm noticing, but the fact that I noticed it at all. Mm-hmm. Because if you're like me, you're stuck in your head and your mind's waking up. It's there for you when you wake up in the morning. It's got a million things planned. So I need space for grace. And the angels, or the angelic energy that I'm talking about, makes space for grace. Okay? Remember our 2 points. The world is happening for you and not to you, and that you are divine light source energy. So before I introduce my guest, I have a story to tell you about the angels and angel energy. So I put this book in my purse. It's called Soul Love by Sanaya Roman. Don't know why. I was in my office, and I got to tell you, I don't know why. I read it years ago. Don't really feel called to read it again. I put it in my purse. Maybe I'm going to give it to the guest today. I don't know. But I put it in my purse, and I'm in the bathroom before the show, praying and feeling nervous and doing what I do before I go on the air. And I like pull out the book. You know, if you this is going to be a very strange thing to say for a rabbi on the radio, but sometimes you got to pull out a book out of your purse and read something in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? So I pull out this book and I open it. Okay, this is the angels. I open it, and there is a card inside from a patient of mine at a center I used to work at. And it says on the card, if you can see, but you can't because you're in your car, it says, God wants you to hear his music. And that, I was like, are you kidding me? It's this card. And that's what the angels do. They made me hear the Nat King Cole song. It was like a series of events just set up for you listeners. Everything that happens to me in the 48 hours before I come on the air is just for you. So I hope you feel very special because it's crazy what happens. So let me introduce the Bad Mama Jamma segment. Are we ready for the Bad Mama Jamma? Mama Jamma. Ooh. Mama Jamma. Okay. All Our Bat Mama Jamma today is my friend Marcia Schulman. She is an angel communicator. Say hi, Marcia.
Hello, everyone.
And I have to tell you, we met in Peru, and we haven't left each other's side since. It was, we're sitting here in the studio, and I'm like, can you believe it? Can you believe it? So what is an angel communicator, Marsh?
I actually channel the angels. I speak with them, and I get answers for other people. I rarely ask for myself. And I read angel cards as well. And while I'm reading, I'm channeling what the angels are saying to me about the cards. So, yeah, that's what an angel communicator is.
Do you have a cool angel story from your own life?
Yes,
Okay,
I do.
Good.
This was a couple of years ago. My oldest daughter had come in. We were going to be going on a cruise. And she said, Mom, I don't have any shoes to take on the cruise. So I said, all right. Well, she happens to have a large foot. So about the only place I could think to take her would be Nordstrom Rack. So we're at Nordstrom Rack. She's looking at the shoes against the wall on her size, and I start wandering into the racks in the center that have the designer shoes. And I'm between two racks. The size 9s are on one side and the 9.5s on the other. And I look through the 9s. There's nothing that really appeals to me. I turn around. I'm looking through the 9.5s, and I see, well, I take that back. There was one shoe in the 9s, but it was too small for me. So when I turned to the 9.5s, I was scouring over the racks to see if they had that shoe. And for those of you who have shopped at or have not shopped at Nordstrom Rack, the shoes are in boxes with the lids underneath, and they're on shelves at an angle. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking, and I'm just about to say, darn, they don't have my shoe in my size, when all of a sudden I just sensed that something was coming through the air at me, and it landed plop right at my foot. I looked down, it was a shoe, and darn if it wasn't the shoe I was looking for in a 9.5. And so I immediately looked up and I said, thank you, angels, but next time, do you think you might try not to hit me?
Well, the funny thing is, I was thinking when you were talking, there's a choice that we have in life. We can choose to recognize these things as divine, or we can wait for luck to hit us, you know? And I think that when you're in the flow of this idea that you're divine source energy, it changes your perspective. When was the moment when you decided to see life like that? Do you have a moment in your life where you just knew that the angels were trying to talk to you, or that energy was trying to get to you? Okay.
I really think that it was a gradual progression, and when I really started reading cards and was realizing that this voice that's coming out of my mouth is my voice, but it's not my words. It's not being generated in my head. I sensed that it's coming from the angels, because I only invite in those that come in light and love, so it couldn't be the devil. And angel cards always come from a place of love. So it had to be the angels.
Yeah, and it's we talk about, it's supercharged. Having had a session with you before, it's you. People, if you're listening, I want you to surrender all your ideas, and I want you to understand that, again, you're divine source energy, and the light of the divine, or God, Hashem, Allah, Jesus, Buddha, whatever word you like, shines through you. And when you sit, it's Marcia. It's just the words are charged. You hear them, you feel them, and they could not come out if it wasn't Marcia, because we all, I believe that source energy works with our experiences.
Exactly. In fact, sometimes the words come out in such a way that, the inside voice says to me, well, I hope she doesn't think that this is me talking, because it is in terms of my experience. But they wouldn't give me a word that I had never heard before, or that I would have no association with, because I wouldn't be able to speak it. So obviously they have to give you the message in terms of something that I can relate to.
Okay. Do you have another story for us?
Yes. So I've been in the past taking courses, and I was in a course that had maybe 100 or so people in one room. And we were seated at tables, round tables. And after lunch, people were getting tired, and obviously I must have dozed off. And all of a sudden I heard a female voice that said, "Marcia." And I woke up with a start, opened my eyes, and I'm looking around me and nobody's looking at me. And so I'm thinking, who said that to me to wake me up? And then after the session was over, we had a bathroom break, and I turned to the gal that was sitting behind me and I said, "Did you say my name a few minutes ago?" She said, "No, I wasn't paying any attention to you." So that's happened actually to me several times, where I hear my name being called and I'm looking around, okay, who said that? But it's to get my attention.
Again, it's charging you.
Exactly.
And I believe that. And I believe it works with our brain. It works with our body. We use language, we use sight, we use hear, we use these things. That reminds me, I just moved to Palm Beach County. I was doing a one-woman show in Miami, and I wanted to do it at the Quillo Center in downtown West Palm Beach, which is closed now. And I kept calling these people, and I kept feeling like this was the place. And I literally gave up. I'm sitting on my couch, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have to keep driving south to perform. And all of a sudden, I heard, "Call again," in the loudest voice. And I called, and the woman picked up, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. We've been meaning to get back to you," and da-da-da-da. Because timing is the thing with this, too. We are impatient. I don't know if you're impatient at all.
Oh, yes, I am. You don't have to say that. I definitely am. Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you a question. You did say that you rarely read for yourself. Now, this is the Rabbi Jenny Show. So
Okay.
Do you believe you're divine source energy, light energy?
I do.
Yeah. And
I
that
do.
the light shines through you.
I do.
So what's the hesitation to call upon it for yourself?
Well, I read because I want to help other people. I want them to get their lives on track. I want them to have their lives flow in the in the best way possible for them. And I have no problem asking the angels for someone else, but I do have I don't know, maybe it's a little guilt or something about asking for myself.
Well, it's so interesting because I think everybody struggles with that. I think we think that it's being selfish, or, to connect with God, it has to have a purpose for others. I think that comes from old messages, from martyrdom but you are source. So whatever you do for Marcia serves me and serves everybody that's listening,
True.
And so and I think that in the concept of, I think in the next segment I'll have you kind of describe what an angel reading is, because there's readings, there's calling upon the energy, there's these different ways to communicate with angelic energy. And so when we come back, that's what we're going to do, so people
Great.
can figure out the difference. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Spent hours in therapy, at the spa, and the gym, and still feel as if something is missing? At Walk Between the Worlds with shamanic practitioner Jennifer Sellers, you recapture lost pieces of yourself, place them within your heart, and move forward to fully actualize life. With individual sessions and group classes, with Walk Between the Worlds, you heal your mind, unite your soul, and empower your spirit. Contact walkbetweentheworlds.com today. Mention this ad on The Rabbi Jenny Show and receive 10% off your first session. Walk free and whole and true at walkbetweentheworlds.com.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5424 5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. AMP2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV.
Do you know someone who is currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is over. Dream Recovery International has the answer. With a combination of highly skilled clinicians, innovative treatment modalities, and luxurious amenities, Dream Recovery International has it all. Focusing on core issues, spiritual growth, and personal empowerment, clients of Dream Recovery International leave addiction behind and move forward to fully embrace life. For more information, go to dreamrecoveryintl.com or call 855-DREAM-80. Dream Recovery International, where addiction ends and recovery begins.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey everyone, we're back. It's the Rabbi Jenny Show. This is Rabbi Jenny, and if you're just joining us, we are here with angel communicator Marcia Schulman, and we're talking about angels. And if you haven't been with me yet, you're going to know that I have two things I want you to focus on in our discussion about angels. The first one, that the world is happening for you and not to you. You listening? The world is happening for you and not to you. And I may say that every show because it's really, really important to eradicate this idea that we're victims, okay? And the second one is that you are divine source, love, light, energy. And the angels are actually just versions of that energy that shine through you and supercharge you, okay? Before we talk about this, I really wanted to bring up this story in the Talmud that the rabbis do. And I rarely actually quote the Talmud, but I was doing a lot of research on angels. And, you know the story about Moses for Shavuot, which is after Passover. It's a while from now. When we get the 10 Commandments, you may not know that. I'm sorry, I assumed you did. So Moses goes up to Mount Sinai and receives the 10 Commandments. But according to the rabbis and according to the Talmud, there were actually a chorus of angels who translated it. And remember, we talked about the Hebrew, and we talked about how angel and king, because they always talk about the angels sitting around the king's throne, which is the divine energy. Think in terms of energy, guys. Remember, those are one letter apart. So in order to translate that information that was so incredible at the time, it was such a revolutionary society change. It was like ending slavery. It was huge to not harm someone, to not steal something. I mean, this was the end of barbarianism, and essentially at the time. So, I mean, it was huge. But in order to give that message, it needed to come closer to us. It needed to come in some sort of divine form that was closer. So if it helps you to think of the angels as winged and handsome and beautiful, which is really fun if you like to do that, like me, or you can think of angels as energy, pure source energy in different shades and different colors that comes into your life with different qualities to guide you and help you and navigate. You are in partnership and cooperation with the energy that has formed your very body. So Marcia, our angel communicator, she's going to describe what a reading is like, and maybe a recent reading, if you have one, that you can tell us about.
Well, first I'd like to explain what angel cards are, because so many of your listeners and viewing audience may not know the difference or even know what angel cards are. So angel cards are not tarot cards. I personally don't like tarot cards because they can be both positive and negative.
Right.
But the angel cards come from a place of love, and they're always empowering. So a reading is the spread that I like to use is usually anywhere from a 4 to 6 card spread. And when I read, starting with the card on the left, that represents for me the past 3 months in the person's life, what issues they've been dealing with. Then the next card is the present. And then the subsequent cards are every 3 months, period of time. But I always tell my clients and whoever I read for that celestial time is nothing like man-made time. So the only aspect of the reading that might vary from, what the reading is the time frame of it. And I always tell this story to my clients about you. I read for Rabbi Jenny. And 2 weeks later, she called me up and she says, "Okay, I'm ready for my next reading." I said, "What? I just read for you 2 weeks ago." She says, "Yeah, but everything you said has already happened, so I'm ready for my next reading."
I'm a little fast, if you haven't noticed. Okay?
Yes.
But I wanted to, Marcia, tell us about you. Because, there's people listening and they're like, okay, here's a rabbi talking about angels and cards, and here's a woman. Like, tell us about you. Tell us about your life. Because I want people to be comfortable calling upon source energy. It's really important that we start to work in partnership with the world and light ourselves up and do what we're meant to do. So, tell the listeners your background.
Okay, so I started out actually being interested in the psychic world when I was about 9, when I came across an article about Edgar Cayce. And from then on, I read anything and everything that I could get my hands on. But then once I got married and had my kids, it sort of went to the back burner. And then it was, I guess in my 20s, I started dowsing with a pendulum, and I did it in secret. Just as my card readings originally, I was in the closet
We're not secret anymore, everybody.
No. I came out of the closet with that probably about 4 or 5 years ago. But in my career life, I started out working as a paralegal for a very prominent law firm in Atlanta, and was actually a paralegal for 30 plus years. Mm-hmm. Then I shifted and became a licensed private investigator and worked for a large global risk consulting company. So I was definitely working with the left side of my brain pretty much my whole career.
Right.
And about 6 years ago, I got laid off when the economy tanked, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I met a couple who were having a workshop, and it was about angels. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go to this. And that was really the start of my really becoming interested in the angel world, because I always thought angels had to do with Christianity and not with Judaism, even though I knew that there was Elijah, mm-hmm. and then there was, the reference
Enoch.
to mm-hmm. Enoch, who mm-hmm. I think it became Sandalphon. Mm-hmm. There are two angels who are former humans.
I think we actually have a caller. We have Noah from Deerfield Beach calling to talk about angels.
Yes, how you doing, Rabbi?
Hi, Noah. Do you have a question for me?
I have a question. Listen, this is a bit critical, but isn't using the cards a form of divination? And doesn't the Torah speak against divination?
It would depend on what person you asked. I don't necessarily think that is true, but in certain sects of Judaism, it would be viewed by that. And you would go to your Rebbe or you would go to your rabbi and you would ask their opinion. We're working with a spectrum of Torah viewing. And, there is a lot in Torah that can be viewed on the spectrum of divination. I mean, we all know that Moses turned the staff into a snake. There are lots of references to working with divine source energy. And so it would depend on where you feel called to worship in your Judaism.
But I thought in the Torah it specifically says to avoid this type of divination.
Right, but it specifically doesn't say angel cards, Noah. And we have evolved, and this is the way that source energy it comes through us. When we read a book and something in that book calls out to you, is that divination? Or did that reference just hit you in the nose because it's meant for your life? It's you have to be careful because it's going towards fear. And I know that the Torah does not talk about fearing anything but God. That I know. And so when you fear anything... Yes, go ahead, Noah.
Where is your smicha from?
Where's my smicha? My smicha was under Rabbi Joseph Gelberman at the Rabbinical Seminary International. He is a fourth-generation Kabbalist. He is now not with us anymore. He has passed away. And that is where my smicha is from.
Alrighty, I appreciate your help, and have a good day then.
Thanks for calling, Noah. Anytime.
Okay.
What a great question. I think people are so confused about this issue. They go right towards fear. I wanted to, you made reference for something, and God bless Noah, but he turned my attention elsewhere. It gets a little hot and heavy when I got to talk about, all that stuff. But you talked about, in that story about it causing you to take a class. That's it. Mm-hmm. I also lost my job very suddenly, and I also waited for guidance and waited for the right thing to do. And sometimes when we're working with the divine, we have to call upon it or wait or look or anything. And how did you know to take that class?
Well, I like to say that typically when one door closes, another opens. And a friend of mine from Tampa was coming in to do this workshop. And because I had just lost my job, at first I said, no, I can't do it. And then she called me the day before she was going to be coming in, and she said, listen, you need to call the person who's giving the workshop, because she wanted to know if I knew anyone else who would like to do it, and I told her about you. So she said she'd work with you on it. Mm-hmm. So I called the workshop leader, and I said, I got the message to call you. And so she worked it out with me, and, I decided, why not? I mean, it just really called to me.
What areas of your life could you be calling on the divine energy more? This is,
I do ask sometimes with the dowsing pendulum whether I should buy one thing over another. I also, ask, but I use the dowsing pendulum for that. I think I could probably use the angel's advice in romantic love.
See, the Soul Love book is officially, if you're watching, I'm passing the Soul Love book to Marsha. Thank you, angels. Yay.
And this
Rose Quartz, which is for the Archangel Chanael.
And it's also
for love.
For love, exactly.
Oh, Lord, we've opened a whole bunch of doors, It's going to be scary. Oh, my Lord. It's been really fun.
But that is, it's funny, but relationships and career are two of the most popular topics that people come to me wanting to have the angels' input on.
Well, I want our listeners to think about this. If you're like Marsha and you're hesitant to call upon divine source energy, I want you to think about it less as what you're asking for, as what you're asking for is actually a quality inside of you. So you want the angel to give you the strength to look at your career, the strength to open your heart, the healing to have your heart open, and then it can supercharge those qualities. We'll be right back with the Rabbi Jenny Show.
Spent hours in therapy, at the spa, and the gym, and still feel as if something is missing? At Walk Between the Worlds with shamanic practitioner Jennifer Sellers, you recapture lost pieces of yourself, place them within your heart, and move forward to fully actualize life. With individual sessions and group classes, with Walk Between the Worlds, you heal your mind, unite your soul, and empower your spirit. Contact walkbetweentheworlds.com today. Mention this ad on the Rabbi Jenny Show and receive 10% off your first session. Walk free and whole and true at walkbetweentheworlds.com. Do you know someone who is currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is over. Dream Recovery International has the answer. With a combination of highly skilled clinicians, innovative treatment modalities, and luxurious amenities, Dream Recovery International has it all. Focusing on core issues, spiritual growth, and personal empowerment, clients of Dream Recovery International leave addiction behind and move forward to fully embrace life. For more information, go to dreamrecoveryintl.com or call 855-DREAM-80. Dream Recovery International, where addiction ends and recovery begins. Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny asking you, are you ready? Life can bring many challenges, and sometimes we need help finding the answers to increase our awareness and take it to the next level. So are you ready? Come join me every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. on WWNN 1470 AM, where you can hear and see me bring spirit, light, and love into your life. Are you ready? It's time to change your life, take it to the next level, and embrace the greatness that is you. Are you ready? The time is now. Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. on WWNN 1470. So let's get ready.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hi, everyone. It's Rabbi Jenny, and I am here with Marcia Schulman, the angel communicator. And I want to remind you what our show is about. Our show is about angels and about seeing that the world is happening for you and not to you, that you are divine source energy. And the angels are basically a supercharged force of that divine source energy with all the qualities you have inside of you. You are a healer. You are compassionate. You are strong. You are creative. You have an imagination. That energy comes to you and fires you up. And you got to call on it, though, guys. This is your call from Rabbi Jenny. So, Marcia, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
They can either call me at 305-331-9898 or email me at Marcia, MARSHA, .Schulman, SHULMAN, at gmail.com.
Okay, you heard that, guys. We have Marcia Schulman at 305-331-9898. Highly recommend it. Open your mind. Call upon source. Sometimes we need permission from Rabbi Jenny or anyone else to do this because it feels silly, but you are divine source, love, light, energy. I promise you that. So it is time. Marcia, you ready? It is time for the Rabbi Jenny Joy Jar.
Yay!
Joy, 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 joy. It's Adeline Gobergstein, and it's time for the Rabbi Jenny Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge.
Okay, who's our caller today for the Joy Jar?
Hi, it's Alexandra Bayo. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for calling. Do you know about the Joy Jar Challenge?
Yeah, I would like to take the challenge. I'm interested.
Okay. What I'd like you to do for us is I need you to name as quickly as possible 10 things in your life that make you feel ridiculous joy. You ready?
Oh, wow. I'm ready.
Okay, go.
Okay. I want to say thank you for the wonderful mother I have. I also want to say thank you for my husband, being able to find him here in USA. I also want to say thank you for coming here to the United States and creating something out of nothing. I came here with nothing when I moved here. I also appreciate very much the true friends that I have, and I love staring at the world and seeing creativity. I like the nonprofits that support art. I love the trees and the plants. I love books by John Maxwell. My cats and technology.
Oh, my goodness. Wonderful, wonderful. Will you tell me your name again?
Alexandra Bayo.
Alexander, thank you so much for calling, and you won the Joy Jar Challenge. Woo! As you figured out, it's
yes.
Yay! Woo! And I actually loved it. Oh my gosh, I could hear that list over again. I'm going to play it for myself later. Okay, Alexander, tell us about you and what you want to promote today on the Rabbi Jenny Show.
Well, I have a video production company called Alexander Bayo Productions, and we host networking events quarterly. We have an event coming up in April 9th called Film Carpet. It's a red carpet event where people in the video production industry can come together, network, and watch a couple of films and dress up for the red carpet.
Oh, how do they get in touch with you, Alexander?
Call me at 786-370-6186 or simply go to alexandrabello.com.
Oh, thank you so much. It was wonderful to have you. Maybe you'll come be a guest.
Yeah, I would actually love to be there, and I actually have 2 tickets. you know,
There you
for
go.
the people that called next, I have 2 free tickets to go to the event, Film Carpet.
Oh, you're hooking us up. Does anybody want to call? Because if you don't call, I'm taking them. Marsha and I are going. Okay? I might
Just
take
say
Blake
Film
in the
Carpet
booth
when you
though
call
too, and
and you get the
Freddie in
ticket.
the back. We might take all the characters to the red carpet event. Anyone calling in? We'll give him a little while, Alexander, and we'll let you know. Okay? Thank you so much for being on the Rabbi Jenny Show, and I wish you ridiculous joy.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. So this is Jenny, and we're talking to the Angels today. And you know what? We have a couple more minutes, Marsh. You're here. We're gonna talk to you a little bit more. Can we get the video on Marsha? Okay, we're gonna talk about angels a little bit more, and we're gonna talk about different stories from my life, different things that I've prayed for that, you know, come to me, and I immediately acknowledge that it comes from source, you know, and this idea that turning your attention or your perspective to the main idea of the show today, which is the world is happening for me in divine timing, perfect timing, exactly as it would be to turn out the best for me. Even this show, like, oh, that is such a great show. Hallie, who does a show on this network, oh my gosh, I have to tell you this story. I have known Hallie for a long time. I mean, long in name, okay? And we work in the same building, and Marcia knows this story. I was going to have lunch, and literally it was like something blew me. I was going to have lunch with my coworkers, and it was like a strong wind. This is a building inside, people, so there is no wind. A wind like pushed me to sit with Hallie, which led to me being on her show, which led to this like crazy experience of being in the studio, which like lit me up like a fire, and like, oh my God, this is what I'm supposed to do, talk to everybody about angels and light and love. And that's a perfect angel story.
That is.
It's a perfect angel story. So give us one more of yours, Marsh. We have time.
Okay, so in terms of a miraculous event that had to have been contributed to by the angels, in our family there was some conflict between my brother and me about a certain issue relating to my daughter moving into my parents' house. They both are deceased. And we were at an impasse. And actually, my daughter, my nephew, my brother, and I were sitting down, and we just could not get past the certain point. And then we actually relocated because of rain. We relocated back to my parents' house. And all of a sudden, my brother changed his view, and I honestly believe that it was due to, number one, we were in my parents' favorite room, and then also I think the angels had something to do with it.
Yeah. And it's that, I don't know if we would call it healing energy, strength energy, that Michael energy that we need to push us aside. But for my listeners, you know, we really, really want to encourage you to reach out, to connect with source, to remember that you are source light energy. And all that is just recognizing who you are and calling upon it in times of need for creative imagination, ideas, where to look, what to see, what to taste, and what to say. Maybe you have a phone call to make and you just think it's going to be so hard because you're so angry or upset that you won't have the right words. Ask. Give me the words. Okay? I think it's time for the Jenny Jam. You ready? It's time for the Jenny. It's a little long today. Jam. Yeah. Okay. We got a beat. Baby, you got all the love you need. You just gotta reach out and believe. Things may seem hard and things may seem low. Feels like you're lost and out of control. Comes from the false belief you're alone, that you've got to figure it out on your own. They see who you are, they light up your soul, they shine through your heart, so you reach the goal. A part of the whole, a piece of divine. The angels are waiting right out of time. Baby, you got all you need. You just gotta reach out and believe. You just got to gather the guts up to ask, and you'll get the guidance to finish the task. The forces of courage will burn in your heart to help you to finish, complete what you start. Forces of light to open your mind, to face the direction that you need to find, to see who you are, to light up your soul, to shine through your heart so you reach your goal. A part of the whole, a piece of divine. The angels are raiding just right out of time. See what's in store, hear and inspire. Set your imagination on fire. The strength to endure, the light in the dark, to see the right door for you to embark. Forces of power, stand by your side. No matter the hour, there's no need to hide. Voices of wisdom when you need them most. To follow your vision, they can keep you close. They see who you are and light up your soul. They shine through your heart so you reach your goal. Yes, they do, babies. Baby, you got all the love you need. You just gotta reach out and believe. Baby, you got all the love you need. You just gotta reach out and believe. So you want to call on your angels. I got an announcement this Saturday, March 21st at Changing Times Books and Gifts. I will be doing sacred chanting. So if you want to catch a bit of this crazy energy and you want to sing with me and do some Hebrew chanting and learn a little bit about the Hebrew language, because I'm a teacher. Rabbi means teacher, just so you know. I'm not closer to the divine than you. I'm just this person who teaches and is a little obsessed with this stuff. But, I try to teach the meaning of the Hebrew words that we chant, and it's so fun, and it's such a great time. So please try to come down this Saturday, 5:30 to 7:30 at Changing Time Books and Gifts for sacred chanting. All right, we got a little bit of time for me to remind you that you are divine source love light energy. And the angels are just a version of that energy, and they shine through you. And let me remind you who they are. They are Michael, they are Gabriel, they are Raphael, they are strength, they are fire, they are healing, and you are a healer. So if you've got something to do, if something is just aching at your soul, and you don't know what it is, ask. I want you to take this to heart, my listeners. And I want you to take it to heart, and I want you to ask. I want you to say, this is foolish, this is crazy. I cannot even believe I'm doing it, but angels, please help me. When my daddy was alive, I told him to do it, and it helped him. We are crazy here at Rabbi Jenny Show. I will see you next Wednesday. I adore you. Keep shining.
You have been listening and lighting up your life with Rabbi Jenny. Join us next week for another session of love, light, and joy as Rabbi Jenny takes life to the next level. Are you ready? Rabbi Jenny says the time is now.